So this is the, goodness sake, get off. This is the, focus, Trakker, Levelite Oval, MF-HDR, water drip, sun, leaf and snow. Yeah, check them out on the website. Sometimes it's alright to cut corners. Maybe not when you're doing a product overview. This is the Trakker Levelite MF-HDR Bedchair, a new and improved version on their old school oval bedchair. Still share some of the similarities as you'll see going forward, but they've just increased that comfort aspect with a few other little features chucked in there for good measure. So in this video, I'm going to tell you 5 key things about this bedchair you need to know. But before we jump into those, please do just take a few seconds out of your time to subscribe to us and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads. It really does help the channel grow, so we can bring more content like this and much, much more to your screens. First up, what's it like to actually transport around, getting it out of your garage, into your van or car, from there onto a barrow and then to your swim? Because there's often a point we overlook when it comes to getting fish and tackle, but it can be quite annoying if something's a bit too awkward to carry around. So to start with, this has 2 tension straps on either side of the bedchair. So when this is collapsed down and you squash it as much as possible, put those clips in, tighten those straps down as much as possible. And one, it keeps it nice and snug together, but it also stops anything from opening and gets it as narrow and flat as possible. Now you can put those straps around all of the legs. That's what I've done on the first few shots you'll see here. And that keeps all the legs in tow, so nothing's going to move around. But if you then want to carry it onto a barrow, you don't want to have those legs tucked in, is what I find, because I like to have those legs out and they almost become sides of your barrow. So you can have them either strapped in or unstrapped, and so they're loose to do that on a barrow, completely up to you. If you're going to be carrying this around by hand, there is actually a really nice handy handle, so you can lift that in and out of your van nice and easily, or if you alternatively just carry it how you normally would, grab one of the legs and move it around like so. Now it isn't the lightest, I'm not going to lie about that, because there is a lot going on this. We've got memory foam, loads of padding and all this stuff that's gone into it does add weight, but it is a very comfortable bed chair, which we'll get onto in a little bit. But it does come in at about 17.5 kilos, so it isn't the lightest on the market, but it also isn't the heaviest. We've reviewed one recently which was, I think, about 23 kilos, but that's often one of the trade-offs for going for something that has this much comfort packed into it. Once it's in your swim, of course you want to get your bed chair nice and level, and that's where the Levelite name comes into this, because this has 8 feet all the way around, fully spring loaded, so you just push of a button and that leg will shoot out. And as you can see on those legs, there's multiple different points that they will lock into place, so you can make this level on really uneven ground. I set myself the challenge earlier on a little bit of undulating ground there, where it was highest in the middle, where I'm sat right now, and the edges were down, and I adjusted it all and made it nice and flat. There's actually spirit level bubbles, not on one leg, not on 2, but on 4. You got one here, and of course on the same point on the back. So it doesn't matter where you are on the bed chair moving around, you can make sure you get that spirit level bubble absolutely perfect. Something I probably should have done a bit more when renovating my house, but no one's looking too closely. But it does mean that if you get that level as spot on as possible, you're not going to have blood rushing to your head in the middle of the night, waking up with a headache, or vice versa. You're on a slope slowing down or rolling off. Making it nice and level, it does make a difference to how you sleep at night, because you're not holding yourself in a certain position or slipping and sliding around. Whether you need 4 spirit level bubbles, I don't know, but it's nice to know that they are there on each and every point. So making it nice and level is easy. As I said, you've got those fully adjustable legs, and they've got big mud feet which will adapt to the ground that's underneath them, so they shouldn't sink in too much, so they've got nice and spread weight. And because there's 8 of these legs, your weight is really spread around the whole thing. So getting it level, nice and set up and stable is perfect. And because of the shape of this bed chair, as I've mentioned before, this is the oval bed chair, the head and tail end are actually slightly narrower. So when you put that into the back of your bivvy, whether that be a Trakker Tempest, which is what obviously they model it on, or a lot of bed chairs or bevies on the market, have a more of a curved back to them. The idea of this is you can push that right the way to the back, and whereas more traditional ones, which are more of the square shape, the corners would touch first and you'd have that gap at the back, this should fit nice and snug into back of a more rounded shaped bivvy or umbrella sort of setup. So that saves space, helps you to get nice and snug back, and especially if the weather's really horrible and inclement, you can get as far back into your bivvy or shelter as possible and keep away from the wind, and it just saves space as well. It's all well and good if something is lightweight or easy to transport around and it's easy to set up and get nice and level, but if it's not comfortable, it's not doing its main job correctly, and that's where this really stands out, because they've upgraded it from its predecessor and introduced memory foam. The memory foam mattress on this is super thick, it's high density, so it really does hug the shape of your body, and when you settle down into it, even as I just sat down here now, I felt I slowly sunk down as it caressed my buttocks and became the shape of that. So sorry Trakker, when I send this back, it's not going to keep the shape of my arse in it. As you can see from some of the shots, as I push my hand into it, you can see it takes the form of my fingers and then slowly releases back. So it will go back to its full sort of expanded foam state when you come off of it, but each time you move around, it'll hug your body, give you all that support you need, and it's just nice to say you've got a memory foam mattress on the bank. But that is where some of that weight comes from, as I mentioned before. Unlike other bed chairs which don't have memory foam, they may be lighter, but they may not have as much comfort and support as what this has. This mattress is actually fully removable from the bed chair itself, so if you wanted to take all of this apart at any point and clean it all, you can do so, and that does reveal the frame underneath, and that's another part of the comfort aspect of this. The very central bit, which is where we all sit most of the time, and you need the most support on your back, and the lumbar support is there. It's on a rail system, so there's actually no elastic whatsoever in this section of the bed chair, so it won't sag over the time, and it gives you all of that support you need. Now, although it doesn't sag, which is what you used to have on some older bed chairs, and they had the elastics, so that would be the cushioning, because it's got the memory foam, you don't need that sagging aspect. The memory foam is doing the comforting and cradling enough for you. But then at the head and tail end, there is still those elastic bits, so those do move around a bit more from sort of your shoulder up and your feet down. I've often wondered why the feet end is still elasticated, because that's the lightest part of your body, but hey ho, there's elastic at the foot end as well. So that is how this bed chair is set up when it comes to the actual frame, and then moving up to the mattress. All of that combined together creates a really comfortable setup. Moving up from the mattress, we have the sleep system bags itself. Now these actually zip directly into place onto the mattress, and not at the top of the mattress, actually at the lower edge, so there's no zips up here. It wraps around to the very bottom, that protects the mattress and makes it nice and secure to the mattress. I think I've said mattress enough times in one sentence. And it also means that the camo then covers from the mattress all the way up, and it's a lovely camo all the way around. It's one of Trakker's own designs. If you look closely, there's actually little Trakker logos dotted around, which is a nice little touch to it as well. Now the top is a peach skin fabric, and that is water resistant, so if you're sleeping under the stars and you get caught in a little shower, or on those nights where it starts to get a bit dewy, this will keep you nice and dry on the inside. But of course, if it's going to be lashing down, I don't think anyone really wants to be out under the stars. They'd rather be in a bivvy, but if it does get a little bit wet, do not worry. On the inside, we have a advanced hollow fill fiber, which helps trap the air within it and get it really nice and warm. So rather than having loads and loads of layers, the filling that's within it is what all the temperature retention comes from. Now this is a 5-season or 3-season sleep bag, depends on what you want to go with, because on the inside there is a removable part. Now this zips onto the inside, so if we just open this up and pull one of the crash zips, 10mm crash zips all the way around. As you'll see, they've got a sort of heavy duty material on the inside of the zips on both top and bottom, so there's no way of the zips getting caught on some of the more fine materials and getting snagged. As you can see from some of the shots, I've got these zips just fly open, absolutely no issues. And they've also got a little buckle, so the side that you're not getting out of, when you've got that zipped up and you're moving around in the night, that zip's not going to slowly undo itself because it's being held in place by that buckle. So that's really nice. And then we just unzip it and we'll show you the inside a bit more. So as you can see, the base of the sleeping bag setup is a nice smooth, I think it's like the same as the peach skin, but a bit more smooth. It's easy to move around in. And then the top section, this is the removable bit, it's also reversible, so you can have it either of the same material, which is that smooth peach skin type thing, so you can move around nice and easily, or you can unzip it, flip it around and zip it back in, and then you can have the fleece lining on the inside instead. So whether you like the fully brushed smooth version or just smooth on the bottom and the fleece on the top, completely up to you. But that is fully removable as well, so if it's getting into those warmer months, you can take that completely out and whittle it down to a lighter setup, which will pack down smaller, way less, and perfect for those summer months. But coming back into the colder months, rather than having to have a different system, you just zip this one back in. Now whilst we've got this open, something else you'll notice is we've got these high-filled wind baffles, or actually warmth baffles. Now it says on the website that this is to trap heat in, but it also stops wind and breezes from coming in, so it keeps the heat in, keeps the cold out. That's why these wind baffles are there. So if we zip that back up, obviously you're not going to be able to see it, but on the inside I can tell you those baffles are pushing nice and snug up against those zips, so there's no way of anything getting in and nothing getting out. Keeps that heat in, keeps you nice and warm in the winter, and stops any of those breezes getting in. So this Trakker Levelite oval MF-HDR Bedchair has all the history of the previous iterations of the oval bedchair, which hundreds if not thousands of anglers are still using, but it's been pimped up with a lot more comfort and robustness. So that does come at a bit of a price. It isn't the cheapest on the market at $549.99, but it certainly is one of the most comfortable and unique when it comes to its shape and design. So for more information, please do head over to the Trakker website, maybe pick one up for yourself. But that's everything from me for now today. So cheers for watching, and I'll watch you again soon. No, you're meant to watch me again soon. See you again soon. You knew what I was meant to say.